Hey, what's going on YouTube? Lionel's here, and I have my second of two fragrance reviews. Now, if you had not watched my Raw Oud video, which I did a few minutes ago, I just want to reiterate that this will be my last video for the next 4 months. I'm heavily involved in my son's football, which is taking me away about 5 days a week, pretty much. I work, I go straight to the football field, get him, get his pads on, get all that stuff going. And then I'm taking my last two classes for my MBA. I really want two A's in these courses, so that's going to keep me very very busy, up late at night, and then just my basic workload. So all those together are just going to just make my schedule a nightmare. So I really appreciate you guys and watching these videos. I really appreciate you guys and just giving me feedback and even some of the corny negative stuff that people say. Even those things, you've taken your time to watch it, so I really appreciate it that you find me entertaining enough to even mock me at times. So with that, I reviewed Creed Royal Oud. These are my two favorite fragrances. I reviewed this one first. This is my boardroom, you know, wedding day scent, right? This is very important. This is critical, right? This is, I want to make a statement professionally. That's that scent. And then my second one is Noir de Noir. That's when I want to be flirty. That's when I want to be playful. That's when I want to be, but like, I want to knock somebody's head. I want to blow their minds with the fragrance, right? I have a certain persona I'm trying to give off. This is my, I do 30 push-ups. I do, not 30, I do 80 push-ups, right? And I put my shirt on real quick, and that's this fragrance, right? And this is, I put on my skinny tie, my black suit, white custom shirt, cufflinks. That's that fragrance. So, with that said, let me get into Noir Noir. Now, Noir Noir is a chai-free fragrance. It was created, I think, back in 2005, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm sorry, 2007. This is Tom Ford's private blend. I have about 50 mils. This is 30 mil decant. I have about 50 mils of it. I just didn't want to pull the other one out. Let me see what else. Uh, this is sort of my romantic scent, right? So let's get into the notes with this. You have rose, you have oud, you have vanilla, you have patchouli, saffron, oak moss, and something called tuber. And I don't really know what tuber is. I've got to find some other fragrances or maybe even get some essential oils to try to figure out what it smells like on its own. I see what it's adding to this fragrance. But everything else I see adding there. And what's funny is Tom Ford does use oak moss quite a bit in a lot of his fragrances. I think Moss Breakers, and quite a few of his other fragrances have oak moss in it. It sort of gives this greenish component, I guess. So, with that said, let's talk about Noir Noir. So, Noir Noir, you first spray it, the notes kind of do this. And you're getting them all. It's sort of a candied rose, vanilla, oudish, patchouli fragrance. And they're just all kind of just fighting. I mean, they're like making a mess. It opens up a synthetic mess. One of my friends, Sonia Beck, she sort of always calls this like old lady with the red rose in Beverly Hills or something. She kind of gives this analogy, and she's sort of right, right? Now, I absolutely love this fragrance, and I disagree with her overall. But this fragrance really does give you sort of a, you know, you know, big-breasted, red lipstick, red heels sort of, woman, coming out of a Beverly Hills store with a very expensive Hermes bag or something. So, but that's just the opening. In about 5 minutes, the notes just, they kind of just spread out, right? And what you get is this candied rose. So it's this rose saffron combination, and these rose saffron combinations are in rose oud, New York oud, and quite a few other fragrances. And Ferrari Essence oud, and they all have the same vibe, right? And it sort of sweetens up the rose, sort of gives this rose a synthetic feel. So the rose and Noir Noir don't get it if you're looking for Lumiere Noir, if you're looking for Lyric Man, if you're looking for Lyric Woman, if you're looking for Bay Rose. Don't do it, right? Because it's not that kind of rose. This is sort of a fun rose. This is sort of a playful, sexy, candy type of a rose fragrance, right? So, um, and that's that rose saffron. I think the saffron is not in the base. I really think it's sort of, it's really just combined with this rose. And then you kind of get this oud note that's very similar to oud wood, very similar to M7's oud, very similar to even Ferrari's Essence oud, right? It's not a oud that you get in, royal oud. It's sort of a in your face, danky, you know, you know, dense oud. Like it wants you to know it's there. This is a oud that wants you to know that it's there. But it's just kind of kept in check with this sweetness, right? This vanilla rose sweetness kind of keeps it in check. And then the patchouli comes along and sort of gives it this dirty component. It's very, very dirty. This fragrance is sort of dirty and it sort of has like an incense vibe. And I really think that's the oud patchouli sort of playing with each other and sort of giving it this dirty vibe, right? Now, this is a sweet fragrance, so if you don't like sweet fragrances, stay away from it. It sort of leans in the feminine side. Now, however, it's not as feminine as West Side to me, and maybe that's because of the dirtiness and the oudness in it, sort of kind of giving it a more woody component. West Side is strictly red wine, sort of chocolate rose. I think my man Spencer says, uh, smells like a drunk prostitute, I think was the analogy he gave. And at first I was like, man, you're crazy, Spencer. I mean, that's a horrible analogy. But it sort of is. I mean, it's sort of it kind of has that red lipstick, busty woman type of fragrance, which masculinity, our masculine pH sort of gives it a more of a masculine component. It's not West Side doesn't go on paper. You would think it was ultra feminine, but I really think Rose West Side is one of those fragrances you have to spray on and see how it develops on your skin because it does become a bit more masculine than what it does on paper. Noir Noir is the same. If you go spray Noir Noir on paper, you're going to say, no way. It's just way too sweet, way too sweet. But on my skin, the woody component, the oak moss, and those things, and the patchouli just gets very dirty. And, for the most part, I think, a lot of women may find it a bit too masculine in some component, and some men may find it a bit too feminine, which sort of leaves this fragrance in this fragrance limbo, sort of. I mean, it just sort of just floats in limbo. Too masculine for women to really like and dirty, but too feminine for guys to like. So it kind of floats in there, which makes it perfect for me. I'm that guy that kind of picks those in limbo fragrances where it's just, guys really don't like it because it's too sweet. Women don't really like it, it's too dirty. And I sort of throw it on. And it works perfectly for me. So, sort of like Sweet Redemption. A lot of women don't like Sweet Redemption because they say it's too sweet. And a lot of guys don't like Sweet Redemption. I mean, they say it's too masculine and dirty with the incense sort of dirty vibe. And too many guys say it's just too orange and sweet and creamsicle-ish, which it falls right into my lap, when it comes to the type of fragrances that I enjoy. So, let's talk about Noir Noir a little bit. So I kind of given you what it smells like. Candy, rose, vanilla, oud, woody fragrance. With a lot of patchouli giving it a dirtiness. So let's talk about performance. Noir Noir longevity is off the charts. The projection in the opening, the first about 3 hours, I go about 5 sprays, 4 to 5 sprays. The first 2 hours are strong. I mean, you're strong. So if you're going, somewhere like I'll give you an example. If you're gonna go spray this on and you're gonna go pick up your girl, right? You're gonna go on this romantic dinner. I would say probably go to about 3 sprays with this max. Just because I mean it just travels and it grabs people in, and I wouldn't be comfortable with riding with someone in a car with like 4 or 5 sprays, and I wouldn't be comfortable, at dinner, because I just think it will just crowd everyone's food and just attack their taste buds and senses. So, um, you know, 3 sprays and those of ours. But if you're gonna go to a club, and I think, listen to me, uh, uh, a Slurpee's video really, really, really pushed me to go try it. I was on the edge. I didn't really get a chance to try it. Um, I really didn't get a chance to try it, but Slurpee kind of got me to. But I think I smelled it and I just didn't like it. But Slurpee's video and just kind of his experience with it really caused me to go and just blind buy a decan at a very reasonable price. I got this at a very, very reasonable price. So with that said, I got it. And it was immediate love for me. My first spray was it just leapfrogged everything in my collection pretty much. It was fighting with Musk Ravageur, fighting with a couple other things, but it just leapfrogged and just took Reflection Man and Stranglehold it, and it just this and Royal Oud are my favorite fragrances, neck and neck. They're just different instances when I would wear them. So longevity is about I don't know as long as you want to wear it. Projection with 3 sprays, you're going to project very far, and it leaves really good sillage. Um, 5 sprays, if you're going to go into a club somewhere where it's smoky and crowded, you're going to turn heads. You're going to attack people's nose. You're going to cut through everything that's in there. I promise you this will. But it's so refined and it's so sexy that it's not, it's not, this is the cologne guy. They're going to be like, gosh, this guy smells good. I wore it last Friday, I think, dancing, and the girl was just like, my gosh, you smell great. She was like a kid. And I was at McDonald's ordering the food, and I went with my typical 5 sprays because I was going dancing. And 4 sprays, I think, this time. And it just grabbed her. And she was like, she said, I'm sorry. So she said, but you smell so good. She said, oh, what's your order? So, but every time I wear this is also equally as complimented as Creed Royal Oud. It's sort of like you smell great. It's sort of that, which cause like, man, you smell great. It's sort of like respect, right? Wow, this guy's, you know, I get Bill Gates respect with this, and I get Idris Elba respect with Noir de Noir, I guess, if you want to make it that, if I want to give you a reference. So, overall, I'm about almost 2 minutes over. Overall, I give this high marks, 5 out of 5. Longevity is about 10 hours. Projection, top of the charts. Sillage, top of the charts. The only person I don't think would like this is someone who won't like sweet fragrances. If you don't like rose, you won't like this. If you don't like oud, you won't like this. If you don't like sweet fragrances, you won't like this. But if any of those notes are intriguing to you, this is a very good fragrance. This is my favorite fragrance, tied with Royal Oud, different instances. Again, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate the support and the love from the community. I look forward to interacting with you guys in the next few months. I don't know if I'll be even watching any videos. I will really be entrenched in these books. So,